Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, Nett Radio.
Can you feel the love on a stranger's face? When my people dancing through time and space. It's our energy when we come down there. They say all we know is to jump and wave. It's in every creed and race, and the carnival is the holy grail. Stay right here, living the mass only, yeah. I feel I could stay right here. Look how the mass are way. Everybody charge up, we going high up, full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up, we going high up, full of energy, energy. Love is the only energy. Look around, it's all away. Every hand up in the air. Tell the bad vibes not today. Love is the only energy. Mama, you know when my heart is buried in the savannah. From the hills in Gonzales, I could hear the panorama. You know where my waist is, behind a pretty girl. Familiar faces make the sweetest bacchanal. Cause it's our energy when we come down here. They say all we know is to jump and wave. It's in every creed and race, and the carnival is the holy grail. Whoa, I feel I could stay
your day right.
Higher, full of energy. Everybody charge up.
Everybody, charge up.
Full of energy.
So you know what that means? That means you too. Everybody is everybody.
Going high.
So good morning, everybody. Welcome Ted. Welcome to the best place on the planet.
Going higher, full of energy.
Streaming to you from the beautiful, gorgeous Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Charge up.
Yes, you are locked on to New Era TT Radio, Nett Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. I want to say a very special good morning to everybody. TNT, good morning.
Going high.
Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. Friends and family who are streaming all around the globe, good day to you and thank you very much for being here. I also want to say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And all that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you.
Everybody charge up.
People, I am yours truly, Sir Charles. Cheers to the weekend. We want to take the opportunity to welcome everybody to the Get Up and Go. This is your breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Hi, good morning. Let me make sure my mic on before I get both. All right, so good morning, and welcome to the breakfast show on this Friday morning. A little rainy Friday morning here in Trinidad, but a great Friday morning because the weekend has begun, people. You know, we love a weekend on the breakfast show. We love a weekend. So good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are in Trinidad and Tobago, up the Caribbean, or wherever you are across the planet. Whether it's morning, evening, or night, a good day to you. And of course, a special good morning to my co-host Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. And thanks for being here. Yeah, it's a beautiful one.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It is a rainy morning in Trinidad, in Arima. Well, it's not raining in Port of Spain, but it's raining in Arima. And we're here. We're happy to be in the land of the living. Condolences to those who would have lost loved ones. And happy birthday. Today is November 7th, right? Yes, happy birthday to Marlene Goddard, Carla Alfonso. Hey, Carla, happy birthday. Davlin Thomas, Carlene Bartholomew Cooper, Corinne Jones, and Paulette Archer. Only woman born today, right? All right, only woman friends I have today. Only one man. All right, so those are my birthdays for today. And of course, if we have any more in the chat, we just get to it when we go through the chat. Right.
Let me say, as you
all right there?
Huh?
You all right? You want to say you're having any bruises or things?
Don't worry, despite all, I'm okay. I want to send out belated birthday greetings going out to Terry Ann Peters, who celebrated her birthday yesterday. You know, so I wasn't kind of sure exactly if it was her birthday yesterday. But yeah. Terry Ann, happy birthday to you. I hope that you had a great day.
All right, my apologies for yesterday. I just don't know what happened to the data on my phone. It just will not come on at all. So because I was on the road and I had to depend on my phone, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I don't know what happened. So my apologies, please. You know.
I think today is also Davlin Thomas' birthday. So
yeah, I did say Davlin Thomas. You didn't hear me?
Hear you. Sorry, no, I didn't hear you.
You don't listen to me in the morning.
I think today's also birthdays today. Somebody's birthdays today, you know.
You didn't listen. You don't listen to me, Richard.
Not all the time, no.
Okay. Davlin Thomas was the only male name I called actually in that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just saw it come up on my phone, so that's why
Yeah.
I mentioned it in terms of oh my goodness.
But today the big launch of NCC. Is he still with NCC? I don't think so. He used to be the vice chairman of NCC.
Yeah,
I'm not
most
sure.
likely not.
But he's no longer the CEO. I know he was the CEO of
Northwest.
Northwest.
Or North Central. Someone else.
North Central, North Seaton, NCRHA.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he is anymore because when we briefly interviewed Eddie yesterday, Eddie said no, it was some new guy. I'm not so sure what the new guy's name is.
Yeah, he didn't know it wasn't sure the man name.
No surprises there in terms of the political climate.
Yeah, so, but somebody's birthday is today. I have cousins and my brother, well, my deceased brother's birthday is around this time. The three of them are in early November, and I just always confuse the dates. But today's somebody's birthday. It's either my brother or my cousin.
Okay.
So somebody will tell me.
What is the boss telling us?
What?
The boss. One of our bosses. What are you saying? So Charles turned on the camera and our man strips it would look good alongside. So Corey don't know that Sir Charles doesn't use his camera.
Talking to.
I don't know, he buffing up Charles. Corey.
I'm not getting into that confusion.
You don't know the reason why we asking for the camera to be turned on this morning in particular. me and Richard, I don't know if we're going to be called to court, so we can't say much. We're going to be called as witnesses in court, so we can't talk much.
Yes. You won't say much, you just listen.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, I suppose we should get into our good news at this point before we go to greeting all of the people who are already commenting in the stream. Good morning again to everybody, and let's go to our good news for this Friday morning.
Step forward if you ate pizza by the age 7. Move one step forward if you have a daddy that would drop you off at school. Move one step forward if you have a daddy that will take you to the park. Move one step forward if you have a dad that will play with you after work. Move one step forward if you have more than 2 pairs of shoes by the age 7. Move one step forward if you have games or Nintendo Switch by the age 10. Move one step forward if you have a daddy that will fix your hair before school. Move one step forward if you have to work to help provide for your parents by the age 8.
Wow.
So that was, 2 clips of good news this morning.
You're tugging at heartstrings there today, Richard. Yeah.
Well, life is emotional.
Yeah, that both of them.
Yeah, both of them. It's about
especially the last one. How many people? Yeah, sacrifices.
Sacrifices to make sure that your children are better off than you and have life better than you. I think that's the ultimate goal of parents.
Yeah.
That you don't go through what I went through, and so they become protective of their children.
Yeah.
So, but you would know. I mean, you have about 7 children, not counting the 2 you don't know about. But
yeah. Of course, I would know.
So you would know.
My father died when I was 11. My mother died when I was 4. My father died when I was 11. So I've lived most of my life with my parents, but with children. Yeah.
So that was all good news for this morning.
I used my inhaler this morning and then touched my eyes, so my eyes are running water. I feel so that's not tears, although it could easily have been tears. Anyway, what is
we could go into the stream at this point and greet people in the stream who would have joined since early o'clock this morning. So let's go to our stream and greet
where the dancing ladies today?
Oh my goodness, I forgot, madam.
Today's Friday.
Is that her name, madam?
I don't know what her name is. I don't know what her name is.
I'm going to call her madam.
I'm just calling her madam.
Yeah.
I thought she had a name.
Huh?
Yeah, baby.
Well, let's get her going because a lot of people are dependent on her.
Yes.
Put Zena first. Play Zena first.
Oh God, you're giving me work just now.
He's not struggling with one. I thought that was what was coming there just so,
I think it's because he's talking at the heart.
Answer the day.
You see, you can't put that kind of good news and then put this.
It's a Friday, baby!
Oh, yeah.
Your weekend starts right here. Are you ready? Somebody come on, let's do this. Here we go. Come on, yeah.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know it's Friday.
You see, your good news didn't match that energy. That's why. Your good news, that's why you forgot it.
Yeah, so it is Friday. That's just a reminder that it is Friday. Of course, we can now go to the stream and greet people who have been here since early o'clock this morning, starting with
Ozzy Molino at 12 midnight exact, or 12 a.m. Valerie Mendoza, Joyce Phillip, Margaret Thomas, Eunice Dublin, Erica Charles, Brennan Smith, Ava Smith, Felix Kazo, Money Grip, Diane Payne, Boy Videsi, Old Lady, Kenny in Harlem, Manager TTU, that's a new name, Marlon Motley.
Morning, Marlon.
Carol Guevara, and she's asking why do we have a guest on a Friday, because I guess we could. Trini Merle Kitchen, Debbie Modest, Odell Guy, Ian Stewart, Nicola Nichols, also saying another weekend ended, another week, not weekend, the weekend now start. Doreen Pierre, James Kamau, Anthony Miguel, Ingrid from Tucson, Natalie Hoyt, Gavin Frank, Bernadette Yates, Margarita Chow, Lambert Bruce, Florence Bazzi, Robert Taylor, Trinidad Margot. Am I going too fast for you? CJ in New York.
Hey, CJ.
Good morning, CJ. Yeah.
Donald Trump, who we're going to well, no, we're not gonna get a kind of an explanation on him maybe later. Kathy Ann Charles, special morning to Arlene in Bronxville, Pearl Cody, Pearl and Stacey, and of course Scorpion Pepper, Dave Gosine, Wendell apology accepted, you were missed. Thank you very much. I really struggled yesterday and I'm still having internet issues this morning. Joyce Phillip says, where's my dancing lady? David McCarthy to the terrific trio, Robert Harper, Carla Hercules, Miguel Gonzalez, Rena Gulu Jennings. Where's our Friday? Okay. Melchizedek, Julia Samantha, Workers' Rights. Okay, who is this now? Sup, sup. That's it. I swear that's me. I always respond to people like that. SUP, sup. In other words, short for what's up. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr, Michael Sankofer says, okay, there's a poll for the next day. Dwayne Sylvester, Michael Robinson, that's managed from Yokohama, Japan. Who else is new there? Chris Toussaint says, take a drink this weekend as the old fall cook eats all. Okay, the fall cook eating next weekend, not this weekend. Scorpion Pepper inhaler, yeah, I use an inhaler from time to time. Not for asthma, but for my sinuses.
I know people who sleep with that in their nose and thing, you know.
Oh God, no, I can't do that. You know, sometimes my inhaler actually triggers my sinus, believe it or not.
Some people are very much addicted to it.
Yeah, it triggers. I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but I use it sometimes just to help clear my sinuses. But sometimes it actually triggers it. All right. Seems as though another vessel was blown out of the water. Okay. Florence Bazzi said outside is wet, the dancing lady will fall. Sankofa say, haha, one woman. All right, Scorpion Pepper is dancing and singing. She in a joyous mood this morning.
Scorpion Pepper.
DL says, good morning, lovely weather. Marcia Rock also says, good morning. Shuma Paul, Suzanne Jessup. Hey, Suzanne, you wake up late. You. So this is coming from Suzanne, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. U.S. government shut down the 38. You know, we've never gotten anybody to speak on that issue. Maybe Chris Toussaint could be our guest on that. Suzanne is saying, truly miss you, and Scorpion Pepper, okay. All right, so those are the things on the chat. And special good morning to Mrs. R and Zena and Ari Bunyan.
I also want to say a special good morning to Carol Ambrose. You thought I forgot, didn't you, Miss Ambrose? I met her yesterday in Lemon Pepper in Shops of Arima, and she was sitting there when I came in, and she said, I watch you all every morning, so we started to talk. And she said, why Wednesday like to be absent? So I say, you know, you're getting older.
Why? What? Me?
Somehow I feel that wasn't the question that she asked.
No, I feel she was trying to subliminally tell Richard something and didn't want to call him.
And she said, but you know, she was very, I think she's a retired teacher, but she said, she does watch the show. And I said, well, what's your name? I said, tell you good morning. And then we were conversing after about my grandfather, Mr. Granddaddy, well, former speaker, Mr. Tomassos. And she was asking me that she felt I should speak to the older heads and do a memoir of it, because she figured it should be something that's recorded of his life.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And so we were talking about that after, and she said, anyway, I'm leaving now. She said, I'm sure you forgot my name. I said, no, it's Carol Ambrose. I said, I ain't that old yet.
Right. Yeah, what an experience I had. I told you all to remind me.
Wait, hold on to the experience. Wait, hold on to the let me finish. Welcome the people on the chat. You and Richard is just go and forget them. All right, so let me say good morning to Kent in Laventille, to Colin and Kelly out there in the Carenage. Miss Sampson was up very early with us also. Fred Markington, I tell you, Fred, you need to be here, you know. Brenda in Pinal. Zena in Arimo. Let's say good morning to Zena now.
Yeah,
right?
I did already.
Good morning, Zena. I went and said good morning to Zena and Mrs. R. Good morning, Mrs. R.
And Mr. Billy in Porter Magazine. Right, good morning to you, Frank, out there in Aruka, Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada, Rockaway, Guy, good morning to you. And of course to Corey Pascal and Gillan, who I understand is coming down to Rumbox today, right?
Today, no.
When it is the Rumbox?
The 21st. You put it to the 21st.
Oh, the 21st. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
And I see something for Rumbox.
Yeah, 21st.
Okay, I thought it was today. All right, okay, right.
So here it is. Sunday I'm walking out my house to my vehicle, and I see this number calling me. It's clearly an overseas number, but I'm thinking maybe it's some friend or family calling me, and I don't have their number stored. So I answer the phone. The person say, "Hi, morning, Wendell." I said, "Yes, it is." Because I didn't pick up the voice, right? Then the person say, "I think I have the wrong Wendell," and then I picked up the voice. I said, "Who is this?" He said, "Selwyn Kojo." I said, I said, "Ooh, Professor Selwyn Kojo?" Yeah, yes. I said, "Well, you definitely have the wrong one there." Just like, I don't know if Selwyn Kojo had my number stored. I don't have his number stored. You understand? I wonder what he doing with my number in his phone. So
you didn't converse after that? He hung up or something? Or?
No. He said, well, he was very pleasant. He said, "Okay, have a nice day." Because I tell him, I said, "But you definitely have the wrong Wendell." So he has another Wendell, another friend whose name is Wendell, and probably close to Wendell Steven. Maybe it's Wendell Motley he has as a friend. You understand? Okay. So good morning, Professor Selwyn Kojo. I now have your number. You have mine, but I now have yours.
But you know what? We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll begin the talking of some of the things going on today. Of course, we have a guest in the next hour, which is unusual, so we're going to take as much calls as possible in the first hour. And I don't know that the guest will be that long, but we will be speaking to Professor Avi Loeb concerning that interstellar visitor that we have that's causing some degree of consternation in the community that studies astronomy and the cosmos. So there's a lot of anomalies in this interstellar visitor called 31 Atlas. So we'll be speaking to Professor Loeb about it, who's done several interviews on international media interviews about it. So he has graciously accepted speaking with us this morning. So we'll be speaking with him in the next hour, but lots happening also in Trinidad and Tobago that we'll get into after this short break.
All right.
Pay $1 down on higher purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop. Located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545. or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, Nett Radio, and Gaia Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So, call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Your only foul to watch corn is coming to an end. Beginning with the final 2 at Cipriani College on Saturday the 15th of November at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 16th at 6:30 p.m. to see the funniest play of the year at Cipriani College. Final 2 shows. Tickets available at K-Square Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, Brentwood, Jubilee Railway to Napuna, Electronics Ariba, and Tony's Florals, Val Park, and Charmflair Auto Services. Box office at Cipriani College opens from Wednesday the 12th of November, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Don't miss the #1 play of 2025.
All right, so we are back after that short break. And of course, one of the big news items yesterday was the launch of the Trinidad and Tobago government's revitalization blueprint. It was roughly 2-hour ceremony, I guess. I think it was held at the Diplomatic Center, which Prime Minister said is now called the Delivery Center, or something like that, Delivery Center. It's no longer the Diplomatic Center, it's the Delivery Center, because they're about deliverables. But so they did if people didn't see it, it was pretty impressive, I must say, though. There was very the graphics and stuff in terms of what their plans are was pretty impressive.
Very
so
impressive.
Them that, and at least having a plan. So kudos for having a plan, because sometimes I figure we operate or the plan is not articulated in a way that is clearly visible to citizens. So I thought they got
another plan.
Yeah, but like we always talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go way back then, boy.
Well,
so
yeah,
anyway,
I was coming up. All governments have plans.
I know, but sometimes it's not. But sometimes it's not comprehensively laid out like how they did it.
And it's not in your face sometimes too.
Yeah. So,
the
but
plan should be the how to get back dragon gas. That should be planned. But go ahead.
But kudos to the government. I thought it was well done in terms of their presentation, and Julian John certainly did. Because I did watch it, at least a lot of it, and Julian John made a big point of it not just being talk, that they're about running from get-go, that at the end of the conference, or the end of the conference, because the diplomatic corps was there, business leaders and stuff, because it's a private-public investment opportunity. It's about unlocking. They had a graphic saying Trinidad and Tobago Global Hub, and it was like a keyhole with a golden keyhole, like unlocking the potential of Trinidad and Tobago, I suppose is what it means. At a certain point, they showed the opening of the largest archaeological museum in the world in Egypt, and Julian John in her presentation showed part of that opening of that huge archaeological museum that was also impressive in Egypt. And the point she was making was that the rest of the world is not waiting. the rest of the world is moving ahead aggressively in transforming their societies. And under this government, they were about making sure that Trinidad and Tobago was not just competitive in a specific area, but also striving for Trinidad and Tobago to be among the world best. That was her. At least that was part of contextualizing what she said. If I may just give an example of what they were saying, in case you didn't watch it and don't know what I'm talking about. Part of they had different hubs. So the southern hub had a lot of developments, called one with a Plaza San Carlos, the waterfront, which they were building up on from what was started before. That's my sense of it. The waterfront project, but even more development. They were also doing a health city in South, in terms of marshalling, how should I say it, utilizing the health sector as a transformative branch in terms of tourism and health tourism and stuff. That's the sense I got from them. There were also a similar thing in Port of Spain, where they looked at sea lots, doing a port city, by reclaiming some of the land outside and building an actual port city. The Invaders Bay project, doing a lot of body development is there. Both sides in Port of Spain and South had 5-star hotels as part of it, as a part of the nod to the tourism sector. The closing down of all of the prisons across the country and moving them all to Tamana. So the Tamana E-Tech Park, I think, is now going to be, this is my interpretation of it, that Tamana E-Tech Park is now going to be converted and built into a whole prison complex that would include a judicial center and courts and all of that. There's going to be a national security center that is going to centralize a lot of the national security issues. Where was that? That was somewhere in Central. It's that way that seemed to be. There was also building up of parts of Central Trinidad, in terms of decentralizing Port of Spain. So there were a lot of projects, different projects.
A Carrera Island Resort.
The Carrera Island Resort. But when they closed down the prison, they were going to change that. They were going to change Golden Grove into mixed residence use, and build it up into a huge community. Carrera Island, they were going to do that. Port of Spain, where the Port of Spain prison is, the plan is to turn it into arts and cultural center for young artists, and also an exhibition center. I don't know if there's going to be a theater there too, but that's the plan in terms of converting the spaces. But ultimately, it was a plan about transforming Trinidad and Tobago in a way within the next 5 years and then 10 years, according to their trajectory. And they had a QR code at the end of the whole session that people were getting, that you could scan and you could start bidding for projects, start going into that, like an e-tender phase. That's my sense of it. So that they were saying that they were not just talking the talk, they were about getting these things done. So just to overall close off on it, I thought it was pretty well done. And I thought they should, give them the kudos for that. I thought it was well done. And at least I saw where you were going. Now, I don't know how the financing of all of this is going to be an issue, even though a lot of it, I think, is going to be seeking foreign and local private enterprise getting involved in a lot of these projects, and etc. So I suppose they will give more information as it goes on. But I thought it was impressive.
Yeah, all right. I didn't follow it extensively like you did, but once Julian John involved, then I have hope. Sorry about everybody else, but Julian John to me is the only person who could drive something like that, who could make something like that happen. Honestly, I don't have hope with anybody else, and I don't have hope that anything is going to happen in Port of Spain either. You understand? I haven't talked about Port of Spain for too long, because after Patrick Manning did what he did and gone, that's it. Everybody dropped Port of Spain like a hot potato. You understand?
It had a very good video presentation also of what it's going to look like, San Fernando and some other spaces and stuff. But it's kind of long. I had to chop it up and probably show it in pieces. But it looked good. It really looked good. Impressive.
Fine. Jillian John, 100% support. Everybody else? Anybody else? Sorry, I don't have any hope. Anyway, let me just greet some other people before I go into the Express. Biznat Prasad, Ebony, Mrs. R, Marlene Saunders Sobers, Sasha, Colted Finch, Donna Ramlo Chan, and Carol Ambrose did message you yesterday. She said I met this charming gentleman yesterday. So obviously, Richard, you impressed her. I don't know why and how, but you did. Sandrina Bagan Charles also says good morning. And Cheryl, I think that's Mirage, Beauty Culture. Who else came in? Melchizedek came in. All right, Beachbog came in also too, right? So a lot of chat, Richard, over your praising of the project and so on, right? As I said, Jolene John, anybody else? Sorry. And I have no hope that anything will happen in Port of Spain. That is just old talk. All right?
I like the fact that they had an implementation plan and they actually had a trajectory of what they wanted to accomplish by 2030. And they had all of, they had marker points, and which is something I would have brought up with Dr. Rowley when he did an interview with us. The issue of implementation and why is it always bogged down? They were also talking.
What plans are for the Queen's Park Savannah? Somebody said they don't.
Yeah, they had plans for that. They didn't get into it much, but they said it was going to be respectfully done in terms of the Queen's Park Savannah, and they also talked about having one portal. The whole issue of doing business and the various agencies you have to go for approvals. They were going to streamline all of that, and there was going to be a one portal and have things done. And if it was once it's a project that's over $50 million, how they would fast track and make sure approvals were done, because they said a lot of the times Kennedy Swart Singh was showing that from data, people who had applied for projects through the EMA and stuff like that, and eventually withdrew, we lost about $1.2 billion in investment from different companies and stuff because the process was too bureaucratic. So that's what he was showing. So they were attempting to streamline stuff to make sure that projects can get a timeline and a quick timeline in terms of approval once it was investment into the country and I suppose into the projects that they're doing.
Yeah. All right, we're running behind time.
It's a good conversation changer, I have to admit. Banker, the headline in today's Express, some of the stories trending in today's Express. Banker reports theft at RBC's headquarters. U.S. Senate blocks bid to limit Trump's war powers on Venezuela. And I have to tell you, I read these things and I just shake my head. Because a lot of people are saying that it's because that Russia and China have announced their presence and their support for Venezuela. Trump is now trying to ease his way back out of this craziness that he embarked on slowly but surely. A craziness that guess who got involved in? We, Trinidad and Tobago. I hope we can back ourselves out of it too. 3 robbed in downtown crime spree. Victims report similar suspects. New York City's youngest mayor shouts out TNT. We would have played that. And Prime Minister may have to account to the International Criminal Court. So says Dr. Amory Brown. All right. So those are some of the stories trending in today's Express.
All right. I'll get to the news there. TNT claims misrepresentation by ex-legal counsel in doctors battle over power lines. I don't know what that's about. Family of slain granny 75 wants closure. Murder accused at Tetron barracks complains of inhumane detention. Accused trafficker wants extradition to U.S. reversed. And High Court dismisses presidential wine defamation lawsuit. Some of these stories, I have no clue what they're talking about. Dan Paul predicts late salaries and pensions for Christmas. And come clean on center and volunteer defense force members sue state over pension. So that's just some of the trending stories in the
What's
news.
that about pension you read there, Richard?
Dan Paul, I think because the opposition had a press conference yesterday. So Dan Paul is predicting late salaries and pensions for Christmas.
Because
I'm not so sure why he thinks that, but
because somebody sent me a message that I should raise about pension in the Arima area, that there is no pension officer, no officer in the Arima area, the Tampuna North Side area, and so as a result, none of the applicants are being satisfied. None of the applications are being satisfied in the Arima area. So if anybody's listening, you try to get Minister Mohit on that, but somebody did say there's a problem in the Arima, Tampuna North area, with the officer there there's no officer there, so several applicants are waiting to have their pensions processed.
All right, so let's look at the Guardian. When the crafty poll now. All right, 10 minors charged in school violence incident in Tobago. CCRIF announces second payout to Jamaica. Leaders of world's biggest polluters skip UN climate summit as of heads of state urge action. Lightning strikes knock out power at Eric Williams Medical Science Complex. Most major U.S. airports are among 40 targeted for shutdown flights cuts, and firearm ammunition seized in San Fernando. And there's a final serve on a Rima man held with 43 marijuana plants.
Yeah, that whole thing with the shutdown of airports, I don't know how it's going to affect air travel. They said it will, if that comes to pass, because of course a lot of the U.S. airports are major hubs, whether it be JFK or Dallas, Fort Worth. They are major hubs for international flights around the planet. So because of this federal shutdown in the United States, it means travel is going to be affected into the United States, depending on how it all plays out. So we'd have to see.
Okay, so let's open the lines.
All right, so we can open up the lines at this point for you to get a little interactive. And just in case you didn't know, today is Friday.
It's a Friday, baby! Your weakest us right here.
Friday energy there for you as we start taking your calls this morning.
All right. Good morning to your caller.
Mm-hmm. Florence Bazi is saying there's no officer there's no officer in Barataria either.
Is this for what? Senior Citizens Grant?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Yes. Senior Citizens Grant.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Morning, Zena.
Good morning, Richard and Wendell.
Good morning.
Richard.
Mm-hmm.
People call me and say, but wait now. That picture, that dancing lady there, that is you. But I know you. When you were so thin, I said, listen, don't let Richard fool all, yeah? It is not Zena. I send it to Richard. I don't know who the lady is, but I just enjoy it. I send it to a lot of my friends on a Friday. I find it very, very happy on a Friday. Anyhow, I want to say to those plans that you all that Richard is so very pleased about. It's like blowing hot air. We tired the development of plans and so of Port of Spain and different areas, and nothing come to fruition. But I will say something. All that is well and good. I see the Piaco Airport situation flashing before my eyes, and I'm studying where all this talk. What happened to all the workers that went home? How are they spending a Christmas this year? Where the small man is involved? I'm not hearing those plans, all I see is plans where Piaco Airport building, what transpired. It's flashing before my eyes, and I'll leave it there. Morning, everyone. Have a happy Friday. Bye.
Thanks, Dina. And Dean Allen is making some interesting points too on the chat, especially about the Carnage, water park in Carnage and so on, I mean, plans are always great to hear about, but...
What water park in Carnage you talking about?
The water park in Carnage, the 5 islands and so on.
Oh, okay, that's there. But I'm saying, did I miss something with Carnage? Because there were a lot of things that they rolled out yesterday, but I thought it was impressive. I thought so. I thought it was pretty competent of them to have come up with such in such a short time. So I thought all of that. Yeah, I give praise where I see praise due.
Yeah, no, we always do. We always do. I didn't follow it. I just remember the issue about the Carrera Island Resort, and that is one that stuck out at me, that they will make Carrera Prison Island Resort, and I'm saying, okay, that's why we needed the sandals in Tobago.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
A promise is a comfort to a fool. Where are they getting all this money to do all what they're talking about? San Fernando is still a dump. I don't know what else to say or do. There is a company in India that is recruiting Trinidadians for warehouse workers. Why is this going on? Why isn't they recruiting back the same CPEP workers? Why is they going in India to recruit people? I have backup, Richard. I know you're going to start something. Anyhow, just don't believe all this. And coming back to this pension thing, all of a sudden they're in power, and every month those pensioners have to wait for the pension. They're using the money to do something or what, and then have to put it back.
Well, that was according to what one person was that is what one person was predicting, Ms. Sampson. That ain't say it going to happen.
Why mention it in the first place?
Is the opposition that raised it?
But they shouldn't talk about the pension. Shouldn't be an issue. The elderly waiting on the money. That shouldn't be an issue.
Well, that is Mr.
It shouldn't
Danforth's
mention on either
prediction.
side.
But we do not that it will be an issue, Mrs. Sampson. I think that's what Sir Charles is trying to tell you. It was something raised by Mr. Dan Paul in the opposition media conference yesterday.
Yes, maybe, I don't know. He might have
he has a sense of how the financial sector.
And news does have sources, so.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But I look at things like what the UNC presented yesterday in the diplomatic center.
But why weren't those things presented in the budget though? The budget debate just went.
Yeah, so we could always look at things from a critical point of view, but what I'm saying is that if it comes to fruition, I think it's to the benefit of the country.
Of course it is.
And so I always want governments to succeed, whether it be the PNM or the UNC. I want governments to succeed because I want life to get better in Trinidad and Tobago. I want Trinidad and Tobago, but I'm competitive about where Trinidad and Tobago stands in various markers, which I always bring up. And a lot of times we are mediocre. Average in terms of where we get positive and anything that we get to make Trinidad and Tobago the best on the planet, and if you could achieve that, I mean, great. And I mean, of course, you have questions to ask. Where are they going to get the money from? And reporters were asking that yesterday. So we will see how it all plays out. But still, if it works, and if they achieve what they want to achieve, and you can have plans, but the issue is implementation of those plans.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of times we suffer in the issue of implementation.
And which is why I want to agree with Guy Small this morning, because the last government announced lofty plans for Port of Spain. If you remember, breaking down all those buildings going around the bridge there by Dessau Street and all that, and building up all manner of things, housing for South Key area, all manner of things in the going up to Laventille, Eastern Main Road there. Of course, a housing project had started there. The whole of Port of Spain shut down.
Yeah, but isn't that we are saying because because one government put out plans and didn't make it, that everybody else after that won't make it?
So Charles, listen to me. There has been no announcement of the continuation of those plans. Things started, Buildings have started. The South Key, down on South Key, their buildings have started. So, but what about the finishing of those things? I'm fed up.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I think that projects that are, once they have crossed a certain threshold, it should be completed. There was supposed to be a whole housing complex on South Key, but Dr. Rowe stopped it because of something in the contract and what the contract said. And then it never started back again.
Yeah.
It just ended.
Karen Teixeira raised that. You remember?
It just ended. Yeah. It just stopped.
When we spoke they just stopped the plans for the whole of the East Side.
And there was supposed to be a whole housing project right next to Memorial Square there.
Yeah.
There was one there too.
Where the Chinese were already started.
And they stopped it too. And there was just no explanation beyond it being stopped. It never started back up. There was never any impetus to start it back up.
And that is what I'm saying, because one person had grand plans and it didn't work out. It doesn't mean that nobody else could come with plans and could make it happen. And as one person was asking on each other, how did Singapore and all those other places do it? Where did they get the money from?
Singapore had a kind of Singapore had a kind of autocratic democracy.
Yeah.
So that he was like, this is where we need to go, and this is where we are going.
Yep.
And of course they now reap the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the plans yesterday looked kind of Singaporeish. I would say that. They kind of had a sense of that. Some of the buildings.
Was housing raised at all?
Yes, there was housing in Golden Grove, in a lot of those places like Golden Grove. There was a whole housing issue, a whole housing settlement, mixed use. A lot of the waterfront areas were also housing. Of course, that is going to be, in my opinion, upmarket housing. Like Invaders Bay, there was part of it is housing, residences, as is the waterfront. But the waterfront is part of what, to me, the waterfront was a continuation to a certain degree of what the last government was doing there. So it's obviously building on that waterfront project and expanding it in whatever directions that is.
Yeah, stick up in right there, guys. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning.
Morning to you, Darby.
Morning, Wendell. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
So okay, when I saw that yesterday, I thought Samani's 2020 vision. And you know what I was upset about? When in 2010, when Samani started the thing and the waterfront was going good, because I thought by now we would have one state-of-the-art port instead of that old building down on Risley Road. And then in 2010 to 2015, nothing was done. If this is a project that is for the country, to enhance the country, because everybody wants Trinidad to be able to look like Singapore. We should have continued with that project in 2010 because there was oil money at that time. And of course, when PNM came in 2015, they said they didn't have any money, so nothing was done. So all these times when they put whatever project up to whatever year, whichever government comes in, they just scrapping it. I just hope what I saw yesterday, I didn't think that was in Trinidad anyway. I saw a kind of thing like a train. I don't know what it was.
You can't imagine we could reach there. That is what I'm saying. I can't imagine Trinidad could look so.
What she's saying, it come from AI. That's what she's trying to hint at. Not that we can't imagine it come from there. It looked like something AI generated.
Whether who generated it? If AI could generate it, people could build it,
I thought so too. So I said, I wanted to just doing this just for so. Because it really didn't look green light for Trinidad and Tobago anyhow, right? So I say, well, let me tell you, I wish it could come to pass. I'm not a pessimistic person, but I'm not optimistic. Because from what I saw when Minister Julie John said, the bankers were in the audience and the business people, so the private-public partnership thing. I said, well, okay, private-public partnership. When would we see that really come into pass? When? So I kind of, if you're not, it looks nice on the picture there, on the video, it looks really nice. But I didn't see that happening now. Not even in 2030.
We're going to have a whole bunch of unfinished projects again. And then when the government change again, we go, we're not getting tired of this. I getting tired of it.
Well, maybe our system allows that kind of thing. If we have every 5 years, a government coming in, and every 5 years we change, or every 10 years we change.
Look at how much things started the other day. The one on South Key, the one by Victoria Avenue, the one on by Lavantil there, just as you enter in Port of Spain. What about all those things? Finish them. And then fine, I would support. Let me tell you, anything Jolene John involved in, and I'm saying it without apology. Anything Jolene John involved in, I support it.
But she's involved in the whole process.
Well, now that's why I said I have hope that it will come. But I want to hear about the finishing of some of these other things. Finish it, especially the things in Port of Spain. Finish it, please. Port of Spain already looks like a dump. It's now looking like an abandoned dump.
All right, we're going for the news and we will be back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio in Gael, Caribbean. I'm Derek. Good day. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says her government has reduced crime over the past 6 months, but will keep pushing to make citizens feel safer. She was responding to questions about a home invasion in Philippines, where armed men terrorized a family early yesterday. Prasad Bisesar said while the data shows a decline in murders, over 200 fewer than last year, people are still fearful because of years of violent crime. She said government will move forward with stand-your-ground laws and make legal firearms more accessible, giving citizens a fighting chance against home invasions. The Prime Minister also confirmed that the home invasion bill, which sets penalties of up to 25 years in prison, will be brought to Parliament before year-end. She added that meetings with the Chief Justice and key ministers are planned to improve judicial efficiency as part of wider crime-fighting efforts. Opposition Senator Vishnu Donpal is warning that the upcoming holiday season could be a miserable one for civil servants and people depending on public assistance, saying the 2025 to 2026 budget is already collapsing. At a media conference on November 6th, Donpal said the opposition had predicted the $59.2 billion fiscal package would fall apart before the end of January. The former finance minister said the warning signs are already clear, as several government payments have been delayed in recent months. He expects Finance Minister Davendranath Tangku to soon return to Parliament to seek additional funds to cover the shortfall. 10 minors are facing assault charges in connection with 2 separate school-related attacks in Tobago. Police said 5 students were charged in relation to an incident that occurred on May 20th. According to reports, a student was seated in a classroom when he was attacked and struck about the head by another student. Later that day, when the victim's father and sister arrived to collect him, they were also assaulted by a group of 4 students, all between the ages of 13 and 17. A report was made to the Scarborough Police Station, and following investigations led by PC Edwards, 5 students were charged with assault by beating on November 3rd. Police also confirmed that 5 other students remain before the court for a separate incident involving an ambush at Shaw Park grounds. In that case, a student was approached and attacked by a group of students, resulting in similar charges. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said the charges reflect its zero-tolerance stance on school violence and reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that schools remain safe environments for learning and development. The Florida 3rd District Court of Appeal has upheld a $131 million judgment against businessman Steve Ferguson, ending a 19-year legal battle over fraud linked to the Piarco International Airport project in Trinidad and Tobago. A panel of 3 judges dismissed Ferguson's appeal and reaffirmed a Miami jury's finding that he committed civil fraud and violated Florida's RICO laws. The court ruled that the fraud had strong ties to Florida, including bribes, bid manipulation, and money transfers through Miami-based companies and banks. Judges said Florida has a vested interest in punishing criminal enterprises that operate partly within its borders. The case began in 2004 and accused Ferguson and others of inflating airport contracts. After a 2023 jury trial, he and 2 co-defendants were found jointly liable for more than $131 million in damages and interest. Canadian fertilizer giant Nutrien Limited has confirmed that it expects no additional nitrogen sales from its Trinidad operations for the rest of 2025. The company made the disclosure in its third quarter earnings report, its first official filing since the October 23rd controlled shutdown of the Trinidad nitrogen facility. Nutrien said gas constraints and uncertainty over port access forced the shutdown, which followed months of reduced cash flow. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munalal told reporters there's been no new headway in talks since an October 30th meeting with the company, but government has already made arrangements to stabilize the carbon dioxide market, with Proman stepping in to supply Massey gas. Nutrien says it's still engaging stakeholders and exploring new business opportunities in Trinidad, including possible work with the agriculture sector. Internationally, world leaders are meeting in Brazil for the United Nations Climate Summit, where the Amazon rainforest's future and the planet's are on the line. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is urging global powers to fund protection for tropical forests, warning that time is running out to stop climate collapse. But the absence of leaders from the US, China, and India is casting a shadow over the talks. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres blasted major polluters for being captive to fossil fuel interests, calling failure to act a moral disaster. Lula said extremist forces are spreading lies and trapping future generations in pollution and poverty, while leaders like Colombia's Gustavo Petro directly criticized US President Donald Trump for skipping the summit. The conference, known as COP30, will test whether Brazil can turn words into action and secure real funding to save the world's largest rainforest. And that is news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show. Stems.
Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop living in the past. Where can I find that energy, the raw magic that comes down from the grassroots? Yes, I'm from a place where soca, the resounding power you could feel anytime, any hour, sunshine or shower. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it read like a storybook. I come from when ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when Arima had it, Maturita had it, Santa Rosa had it, Onyaruka had it, in Mova had it, in Sawa had it, Soparia had it, local over. Downtown Fed was the vibes when West people leave from Link Junction and Beaton to head to the playground and who they link inside Arima and Central Tobago and Southside. The The traffic and insomnia, morning down the by Westmoreland, have cars parking like a garage. Me drinks bottle long like ruler in a cooler, and we chipping down the mouse to for Caranage. Them time the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it on the flag to the carry it. We used to carry it on the cooler to the carry it. We used to carry it when Central had it, Korea had it, Columbia had it, Dipping Penal had it, 500 had it, and Enterprise had it, Hoover had it, the full of eyes. Downtown Fed was a safe space. 30,000 people of different background, confusion, PSA ground shaking like an earthquake. But everyone was fine, it was when hot girl wine. We used to see the downtown massive and the uptown massive with no fences to separate. And it was like a rite of passage when your clothes get damaged, just you start fretting by the gate. Them time did the ground, we used to carry it. We used to carry it up and down, we did carry it. We used to carry it when the flag to the carry it. We used to carry it when the bag to the carry it. We used to carry it, Marabella had it, and Santa Cruz had it, Pinto had it, Palo Seco had it, and Francishet had it, Chola Filet had it, and Maraca had it.
Just got better. You're locked into Nett Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Oh, yes, and of course, that is where you are on your era TT Radio, Nett Radio.
Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop.
Taking you above and beyond the heartbeat of the Caribbean. If you're just joining us for the very first time this Friday morning, good morning to you. Cheers to the weekend. It's here.
Place where soca, the resounding power, you could feel it.
1 hour down, a little more than an hour to go. But it's a very special good morning to all the folks tuning in from wherever you are.
From when Kong used to carry it.
Also, let me say good morning to the folks on Gael TV and the folks up and down the Caribbean that pick us up through Gael TV. Good day to you. Remember when we come over the TV feed after 8 o'clock? Remember, you can stay with us all throughout the day, all throughout the weekend, because we provide you with good entertainment all day, every day. So you can follow us on newerattradio.com. New Era TT Radio, put it in your browser. That way you get us on TuneIn. If you get us on TuneIn, you get us on all of your Alexa and Google devices. Yeah, believe that or not. And when you go up to our sites, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our pages, okay? Also, don't forget to hit the support buttons.
We used to carry it when Central had it, Korea had it, Columbia had it.
So, continue to vote on the poll. Remember, you're putting yes or no first, and then you're putting in any comments after, right? Do you think that the plans revealed yesterday by the government will be able to come to fruition? What's the morning poll? So, stay with us, and we will be back shortly.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Devantry tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Pay $1 down on higher purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses This one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, Nett Radio, and Galileo Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
You don't leave foul to watch corn is coming to an end. Beginning with the final two at Cipriani College on Saturday the 15th of November at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 16th at 6:30 p.m. to see the funniest play of the year at Cipriani College. Final two shows. Tickets available at K Squared Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, Brentwood, Jubilee Railway to Napuna, Electronics Ariba, and Tony's Florals, Val Park, and Champlain Auto Services. Box office at Cipriani College opens from Wednesday the 12th of November, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Don't miss the #1 play of 2025.
Of course you're back.
Echo.
All right, so I think we're ready now. So of course we're now back from the 7 o'clock news and that short break, and of course we go straight into our poll results for today.
Richard, I have a quick question for you. Question for you. Can something be reduced by 300%? All right, let me be more specific. If you had to say murders have been reduced by 300%, would you be right?
I know what you mean.
You don't know what I mean. I don't mean nothing.
When you say 300%.
I asked you a question. Can murders be reduced by 300%? Yes or no? It's a simple yes or no answer. Why are you looking around all up in the sky?
But I think yes, because I understand what you mean. I will say yes, you can say it because I will understand what you mean. I wouldn't be like, what do you mean? I wouldn't be like that. No, I will understand what you mean.
So what I mean? What would I have meant if I said it reduced by 300%?
That it reduced by a fantastic amount.
Let me move on.
I mean, you can't, from a purely mathematical point of view, no, you can't.
Exactly. So from an informal language point of view, I understand what you mean. You're being hyperbolic. You're being hyperbolic in terms of what you're saying. Richard, we are going to interview a professor, Dr. Loeb, in a short while, right? Yeah. About a topic I know nothing about, right? He's a scientist, a professional scientist. I wouldn't even pretend to know what he is speaking about, right? I'm going to be listening mostly, right? Because I mean, as a child, I was amazed by astronomy and so on, right? I used to read a lot of those books and so on, but I have not followed those things, so I don't even know about this asteroid. Is it an asteroid?
No, it's an anomaly, but I think it's maybe the oldest comet. But he will explain his perspective of it.
A comet, right?
3I Atlas.
Right. So I am so looking forward to listening and learning what Professor Loeb has to say. Right. Anyway, our poll is: do you think the plans displayed by the government will come to fruition. I just know when to keep quiet. That is what I'm trying to. I know not to step out of my lane, right?
So people should shut up and not say 300%.
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yes. Do you
because and you are right that if you're saying now from a colloquial point of view, I understand what you mean when they say it, but it's just being hyperbolic. It went down so much. It's like it went down by 1,000%. I understand what you mean, but from a purely mathematical point of view, you're incorrect.
All right.
So that if it went, there would be a definite percentile amount. So if it went down by 50%. It was halved, it was 100, it went down to 50, that's 50% reduction. It's a 75% reduction. There's actually an actual mathematical percentile. So you should really keep to that.
Right.
If you don't want to be hyperbolic.
Yes. Even if it's just simple 33 and a third percent, you consider. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Went down by 33 and a third percent. But for me, it feel like 300% because of the oppression under the PNM. You could say things like that.
Let me do the poll now. Do you think the plans displayed by the government will come to fruition? Miguel Gonzalez said no. Melchizedek, no. Diane Payne, no. Donald Ramlochan, if I had the power to remove some of your comments and ban you, I'd do it. Trust me, just to put you back on track with some of your comments you made. Gregory Boyer says no. Florence Bazzi, Lester Cragwell, no. Florence Bazzi still in vote. Bernard Smith, no. Dean Allen didn't vote. Truth Set You Free didn't vote. Yet, sure, right. It took Singapore quite a while, but it was all autocratic. Kazim Mohammed says no. Marlon Motley, no. DL says yes. Sankofa didn't vote. If your vote is not at the top of your comment, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Josie Richardson, no. Claire Lendor Rollins, yes. Some. Florence Sitaki Wendell. Not my lifetime. No. Marlene Saunders Sober says no. Slick Money Grip, no. Dwayne Sylvester, no. Lloyd Cave, no. Look at chat. I can't keep up with you all. Old Lady says no. Eunice Dublin, no. Ava Smith, no. Jason Samuel, yes. Suzanne Jessup, no. Valerie Mendoza, no. David McCarthy says no. Trinidad Margot, no. Florence Bazzi, no. Richard Phillip, no. Margaret Thomas, no. Cascadi didn't vote, but that's a new name. Anne-Marie Badal, no. Carla Hercules, no. Beauty Culture, no. Estelita Sampson, no. Scorpion Pepper, yes. Some of the projects should, but not all. Well, Scorpion Pepper, yeah, that's saying yes or no. I'll put it as a yes. Coulted Finch, some, maybe not all. Again, I don't know what. Richard, you'll decide what you want to put out.
Put that as a yes.
Michael Robinson says no. Fran Romani says yes. Rena didn't vote. Guy Small, yes. James Kamau, no. Nicola McNichols, no. DK, no. That's DKB, no. Sankofa says no. Dave Gosai, no. Candice Weeks, no. Finbar Collins, no. Ebony, no. Raina Roberts, no. Apollonus, no. D-Mark, no. Wendy and James, no. That's what I have on the chat.
So on the WhatsApp, go ahead.
I just want to remind people that we have Professor Loeb coming up in a couple of seconds. And of course, we'll be discussing 3i Atlas shortly. He's already backstage, so we'll bring him into the studio shortly.
Okay. So Pauline says yes. Kurt Edward says no. Brenda in Pinal, no. Judith in Mount St. George. What you're saying here? 1 minute, let me go into the message.
You like Wendell. If you don't say that at the beginning, you don't read.
Move on.
Yeah. Joseph Clement, no. Zena, no. Rockaway, yes. Michael Long Island,
Rockaway
no.
voted already.
Okay. Michael in Long Island says no. Sachin says yes. Linda didn't vote. And Sean says yes. That is what I have.
And I have one more no from Lyndon Williams.
All right, so we had our poll this morning. Do you think the plans displayed by the government yesterday, which made Trinidad and Tobago look very Singapore-ish in a kind of way, by the government will come to fruition? We had 56 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 56 people voting in the allotted time, 46 of you said no, and 10 of you said yes. So that's it for our poll. What?
I hope all you know, when you go to Singapore, you could walk up a steps for a massage and get a real massage with a real happy ending. I hope you know on the streets and bars and so on, certain places, you could go and pick up ladies or men or whatever. I hope all you know Singapore allows those things. You can't chew gum in public, but you could do some of those other things. I hope all you know that, right? I've been to Singapore.
But when did you do that? When did you do that in Trinidad? I don't understand your point.
No, I'm just saying there are things people want us to mirror other countries like. I hope they know that some of these other countries...
what is wrong with adult entertainment? You're going on another...
Nothing.
Okay, that's so I understand your point. You're trying to make it something negative. It's not anything negative.
No, because some of these people who say, let us be like Singapore, they will not accept those things. They will not
like that anyway.
But we have them. We have some of those things.
That was the end of the poll for this morning. We're done with the poll. And of course, we have our guest in studio. So let's bring him into the conversation. Professor Loeb is next. Good morning, Professor Loeb, and thanks so much for joining us on the Breakfast Show this morning.
Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure.
Good morning.
I'm pronouncing your surname correctly. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good. 1 point for me then. So,
morning, Professor Loeb.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us again. We wanted to discuss the Interstellar, I'm going to say anomaly. You could correct me if I'm wrong. In terms of 3I Atlas, it has been making news in astronomy across the planet, of course, and it has sparked a lot of interest and discussion. And I know you have done several interviews on it on other media stations and with regard to what this is. If you could just give us a brief history of when we discovered it and what are the main anomalies about it.
Yeah, so we are talking about the 3I Atlas. It's an object from outside the solar system that was discovered on July 1st this year. And that's by a telescope in Chile. And it came from outside the solar system. We know that because it was moving very fast, 60 kilometers per second outside the solar system. And this object is fairly big. It's the size of a city, bigger than 5 kilometers and weighing more than 30 billion tons. So it turns out to be 1 million times more massive than the first interstellar object that was discovered 8 years ago. And this is the third one. So it's very surprising that such a giant object is arriving. And moreover, its trajectory is along the plane of the planets around the sun. So that's a very small probability, 1 in 500, that it would lie in the same plane as the planet's orbit around the sun. So that suggests maybe the trajectory was designed by some intelligence. Maybe it was sent by another civilization. And there are other anomalies, as you pointed out. For example, usually for comets, we see a glow of a cometary tail headed away from the sun. In this case, we saw a jet pointed towards the sun, very unusual. There was nickel with very little iron, which we only find in industrially produced nickel alloys. And also it came very close to various planets. It came close to Mars on October 3rd, and it will come close to Jupiter on March 16th. And it just passed the closest approach to the sun on October 29th. And when it came closest to the sun, it became bluer than the sun. And moreover, it appeared to be brighter by a factor of 5 relative to what it was before. So we just don't know what the nature of the object is, and it also deviated from a path that we expect based on gravity alone. There was some propulsion, and it could be that it's a comet that was evaporated. In that case, when it came close to the sun, I calculated that it had to lose about 1/10 of its mass. And in that case, there should be a very massive cloud of gas around it. And when it came out of the sun just over the past week, it looked as if that there is no cometary tail, there is no jet pushed away from the sun the way we see for comets. It's being pushed, usually the dust and gas are pushed by the radiation pressure, by the solar wind, and we don't see it, at least in the images that were obtained over the past few days after it came close to the sun. So in the coming weeks, we hope to learn more about it and figure out its nature. And as of now, it just has a number of anomalies. Most of the astronomers believe that it's a comet of a type that is different than comets in the solar system, but still a comet, a natural origin. But we should keep in mind the possibility that it might be a technological object, because the implications for humanity are huge in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
If you can explain for me, what do you mean by it? You think it may have been sent?
Sorry, why
you said it may have been sent. When you said sent, explain
right.
that.
Yeah, so we sent 5 spacecraft out of the solar system. That was Voyager 1, Voyager 2, Pioneer 10, Pioneer 11, and New Horizons. And we just did it over the past half a century. But another civilization near another star may have had much more time to produce a lot of spacecraft that left their planetary system. So if we look at the Milky Way galaxy, there are 100 billion stars like the sun, and a substantial fraction of them have a planet the size of the Earth, roughly at the same separation. So we would expect billions of Earth-Sun systems just in the Milky Way galaxy. And if you ask how long does it take Voyager to go from the solar system to the other side of the galaxy, it takes less than 1 billion years. And most of the stars are older than the sun by billions of years. So there was plenty of time, even with our own technologies, for some technological object to arrive at our backyard from another civilization. So the fundamental question is, are we alone, or is there someone out there that we are not aware of? And the best way to figure out the answer is to collect data on all the objects that enter the solar system. Only over the past decade, we started doing that because we developed survey telescopes that did not exist before. We have computers that can process a lot of data. So we are now at a new era. There is a new observatory in Chile called the Rubin Observatory that is expected to discover a new interstellar object every few months. And my advice is to check if among all the rocks, there might be a tennis ball that was thrown by a neighbor.
Yeah. You said when through iAtlas went around the sun, it was bluer than the sun. What do you mean by that? What does that mean scientifically to people who are non-scientific?
Yeah. So first I should explain that it came closest to the sun on October 29th, just a week ago, but it was on the opposite side of the sun relative to Earth, as if it was trying to hide from us. It was a complete coincidence, but perhaps by planning. Nevertheless, we had some observatories that are orbiting the sun and could look at it from another direction. And it looked as if its color is blue, bluer than the sun, meaning that there is some physical reason for it to turn blue. And of course, usually a comet has a surface temperature that is 20 to 40 times cooler than the sun, and cold objects are red, usually relative to hot objects. So we would have expected it to be red. That's the way comets look very often. Also, if there is dust, it makes an object redder, it reddens it. So it's not clear what is the origin of the blue color. One possibility for a natural object is a molecule called carbon monoxide that could give a blue color. If it loses one electron, it has transitions in the blue, and maybe that is what we are seeing. But if it is, for example, a technological object, it may be that it has an engine that is very hot, and that's why we see it as blue. So we don't know the nature of the object, but the good news is that in the coming weeks, we will get a lot of data from hundreds of observatories around the globe. And the fun of doing science is that we can learn from collecting data. We don't need to know the answer in advance.
In terms of the science, how excited is scientists who study astronomy and stuff across the planet about 3I Atlas?
I think there is a lot of interest, but most of the practitioners assume that it must be a comet because that's what we have seen previously in the solar system, comets and asteroids. And of course, it looks different. There are all these anomalies. There are 10 of them that I didn't have time to describe all of them, but it does look different than comets from the solar system. It's not rich in water, for example, and it has unusual composition, and it has this glow pointed towards the sun that it had in July and August. So it looks different, but most astronomers assume this is the most likely interpretation. I agree that it's most likely to be natural, but I'm saying this is very different than a typical subject that the scientists work on. For example, if we consider a galaxy at the edge of the universe and we interpret it in the most likely way, if we are wrong, there will be no implications for our daily life. It will not affect us. However, if we have a visitor to our backyard, we cannot be wrong. We have to consider even unlikely events just because they have a huge impact on humanity. And this is something that the intelligence agencies know very well. They consider low likelihood events and take them seriously because the implications are big. And so this is a very unusual situation where if it is a technological object, we must know about it because there could be a threat in the future to humanity. And therefore, we are entering now a new era where we will find many more of these objects. We were not aware of the traffic of potentially technological objects. I should say there is a lot of interest in the public, and young kids are inspired to become scientists when they hear about it. And I think it's an amazing opportunity also to educate people and inspire people about how science is done. It's like a detective story where we collect evidence and eventually figure things out. We don't need to be the adults in the room that know the answer in advance. The foundation of science is humility, the opportunity to learn and being humble rather than the arrogance of expertise.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said what you
yeah, I think in the University of the West Indies in Trinidad, there is a astronomy department. I'm not so sure how much they are following it, but
I hope they do, and I hope they use their telescope to look at it. There are 227 telescopes that looked at it around the Earth over the past 5 months. There were some space telescopes that looked at it. The beauty of astronomy is I can go to any country in the world, anywhere, and there are always astronomers that I can speak with. And, we speak the same language. We are interested in the same things. And that's the beauty of science, that it brings people together. It's very different from politics, where, very often politics tears people apart. And my hope is that when we have a visitor like that we will find is technological, then people will come together because, if there are any aliens, they don't care how we split the land on this earth. And having a neighbor would make us come together and realize that we are all in the same boat and we should cooperate, work together to defend the Earth, or actually maybe collaborate with some neighbor out there. It will give us a sense of a family, the human species, instead of what we see every day in the news, where we invest a lot of resources in conflicts, and it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time. Why not work together, all humans on Earth?
Oh, I want to clap you. I want to give you a round of applause for that, Professor Loeb. Excellent, well said.
You'll get no detractors from this group here.
Absolutely none.
Absolutely none. When is it expected to pass closest to Earth?
It's expected to come closest to Earth on December 19th, and that's just 6 days before Christmas, and just around the holidays. And my hope is that it will not deliver any unwanted gifts to Earth.
Isn't that all of the major telescopes on planet Earth will be trained on it at that time?
Yeah, so we expect a lot of data coming in. There is a campaign that was announced by the International Asteroid Warning Network, and my hope is that we will be flooded with data. That there are people who always have some ideas, some conspiracy speculations and so forth. And the way to tell the difference between them and a real scientist, a genuine scientist, is to give them and the scientists a lot of data. The scientist should be happy to learn some, even if the scientist is wrong. That's a great opportunity to learn the truth. Whereas believers, people that have a narrative, a story that they want to believe in, they are upset when you give them a lot of data, because it can ruin their story. For me, science is a privilege of maintaining childhood curiosity. You can learn something and change your opinion based on evidence. And that's exactly the way that detectives are supposed to work.
Yeah.
I have a question. There's a question here in the chat from Jason Samuel. He said, if it is 5 kilometers long, would it be visible when it is closest to Earth?
So no, you need even 5-kilometer objects at a distance comparable to the Earth-Sun separation. You need a telescope for that. It needs to have an aperture with tens of centimeters in diameter. But you can, in principle, amateur astronomers have such things, and you can buy it online and observe it. When this object appeared at the beginning, some people said that I'm discussing this object because I want to deflect attention from the Epstein files in the US. That was a big item. And I explained that there is no way for me to fake such an object. You can buy a telescope and see it. And, it's real. It's something we cannot avoid. It's not a story. And, that is the beauty of it, actually. And I just received an email yesterday from a mother that said that her child is now very excited. He wants to become a scientist, and he wants her to buy him a gift for the holidays of a telescope. So, there is no better compliment than hearing that kids get excited and they want to pursue the science as a profession.
Yeah.
Professor, I would like to find out, 1 minute, Richard, sorry about that. As you mentioned, it's going to be closest to Earth's close in a few days before Christmas. And is it on its way passing through, as in coming in, or that will be on its exit out of our space?
So it will, when it comes closest to Earth on December 19th, it will be on its way out of the solar system. The time that it came closest to the sun was halfway between entry and and departure from the solar system. So it already passed halfway. Now as of now, it's starting to leave the solar system. That's assuming that it will not maneuver. If it's technological, it could maneuver. It could release probes that will reach the planets like the Earth or Mars. So my research team will look for any evidence of activity near Earth. And I recommended to NASA to check Mars with all the orbiters they have and the rovers, just to make sure that there is nothing unusual that happened as a result of the passage of this object. as of now, it's continuing on its way out of the solar system. It will not come very close to Earth. The closest distance would be 250 million kilometers from Earth. So if it continues along this path, you can sleep well at night. There shouldn't be any concern, unless it's a mothership that released some probes. That's something
Yeah.
to be
But
checked.
what I would also like to find out is when it is on its way out, is it expected that it will return at some point in time, or once it's out, it's gone? And
It's
in
gone.
coming in, as you say, it's halfway. Has it had any sort of collision with any other asteroids, planets, anything in its way so far, or is it?
No. So the amazing thing about
Understood.
space, even in the solar system, which is relatively dense compared to the rest of the Milky Way galaxy, the chance of colliding with something is extremely small. The only thing that it collides with, if you travel, all the spacecrafts that we launched, if you travel through the solar system, the most you can imagine is colliding with dust particles or micrometeorites, very tiny things that do not cause much damage to a big object like that. And even if you travel throughout the Milky Way galaxy, the entire galaxy, you will accumulate on the surface of an object a layer that is less than a millimeter thick of mostly dust and gas. It's really nothing. Most of space is empty, and there is a very low density of gas or dust. Even in the solar system, the chance of a collision is small. Of course, if you are aiming at a particular target, you might actually collide with it. So there is no risk. Now, in terms of the trajectory that it follows, we know it as long as it doesn't maneuver. We know it following the law of gravity. We can calculate. And because it was moving so fast, it almost moves along a straight line. Even though it comes close to the sun, the deflection of its path is very minimal. It's not big, because when it moved close to the sun, it was moving at 68 kilometers per second. There is a car racer at NASCAR that decided to put my image and the image of 3i Atlas on the hood of his car. And I told him, thank you very much. That's a great compliment for me, but not so much for 3i Atlas, because it's moving 600 times faster than your car. So it doesn't really care that you are putting it on your car. It's really very fast.
That is fast.
The gravity of the sun just gives it a little bit of a deflection, but not very big.
What is NASA saying about the data thus far?
So NASA officially says it's a comet. It's just natural. We shouldn't worry about anything. And unfortunately, over the past month, NASA was closed because of the government shutdown in the US. I say unfortunately, that's because on October 3rd, 2 days after the shutdown started, the high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter took the highest resolution images of 3i Atlas. When 3i Atlas came closest to Mars, it was within 30 million kilometers from Mars, and that camera obtained an image with 30 kilometers per pixel resolution. So that's the best resolution image we can have. And unfortunately, because of the shutdown, we didn't see the data as of yet. The Chinese space agency has released some data yesterday from their camera, but it's not as good as the high-rise camera that NASA operated. So I'm hoping that the government shutdown will end in the coming week so that we can look at that image.
Oh, it will give you much more information in terms of that data.
Yeah, because it would not resolve the object, because each pixel will be 30 kilometers and the object is probably 5 or so. But we can see how the geometry of gas leaving the object, what we can learn much more about the environment of the object. It would have been really nice if we could intercept the object and get a high resolution image from a flyby so we can see what it is. And unfortunately, that's not possible, even though there is a spacecraft orbiting Jupiter. called Juno. And I published a paper showing that if Juno had all the fuel that it started with, it could have maneuvered to intercept 3I Atlas on March 16, 2026. But unfortunately, they already used most of the fuel, so we won't be able to use it. And Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna wrote a letter to the acting administrator of NASA, encouraging NASA to take as much data as possible. I also should have said that there is another anomaly about 3I Atlas. There was in 1977 a radio signal that was anomalous called the WOW signal. And it wasn't clear where it's coming from, definitely from outside the Earth. And it came from a source that was approaching the sun, but we don't know what it is. And it turns out that the arrival direction of the WOW signal from 1977 coincides within 9 degrees in the sky with the arrival direction of 3I Atlas. And the chance of that happening at random is 0.6%. So I wondered whether the two are related, and I asked radio observers to monitor 3I Atlas and check if there is any radio transmission, because you don't expect radio transmission from a rock.
Yeah. And is it expected that it should have lost some of its mass on its swing by the Earth, the sun? And if it has not, what does that mean?
Yeah, so when it came closest to the sun, it exhibited non-gravitational acceleration, some propulsion. And in the case of a natural comet, I calculated that it must have lost at least 10 to 20% of its mass in order to gain that boost in the velocity that was observed. And that means that there should be a massive cloud of gas around it, 5 billion tons or so. It would be difficult to miss it. And therefore, in the coming days and weeks, we should be able to see it. Now, if we don't see it, what does it mean? It means that somehow this object was able to propel itself in a different way, not through the standard cometary evaporation of a natural comet. Maybe it has an engine. And so let's wait and see what the data will show us.
And that is what I wanted to find out, because since it entered into our space and it has been moving at this kind of speed, has it at any point in time slowed down at all, or is it picking up speed?
So I actually analyzed 4,000 data points with two of my research assistants, and 4,000 data points from 227 observatories around the world. And we checked for the 5 months between May and the end of September 2025, it did not deviate at all from a trajectory that is sculpted by gravity alone. So we didn't see any evidence for it trying to maneuver. However, when it came close to the sun, for the first time, there was evidence for that. So nothing before that. But the point of coming closest to the sun is actually optimal for doing a maneuver because you can take advantage of the gravitational assist by the sun. And that is the best time if you have an engine to give the object a thrust and gain or slow down. I mean, that's an opportunity also to slow down. And that's what we do with spacecraft. When they come close to a massive object like the sun, that's when they use their thrust to either speed up or slow down. So we just don't know if this object did anything of that nature, when it came closest to the sun. And we know that it did have non-gravitational acceleration, but we don't know if it's a result of cometary evaporation or some engine. But hopefully in the coming weeks, we will know.
An engine would indicate that there are other beings out there, wouldn't it?
Oh, that, yeah, for sure. I mean, any technological signature, if we see that it maneuvers in ways that a comet cannot, if we see some artificial light, for example, the blue color, if it's artificial light, or if we see that it is much hotter than you expect from the illumination by the sun, that would imply some engine operating there. Any evidence that we have that is technological would immediately change everything. And focus a lot of attention on what to do about it, because it's a visitor to our backyard, and we have to decide how to respond to that.
Professor Loeb, thank you so much for the conversation and the science lesson this morning. I think it was a wonderful conversation, and certainly gives us some view of the planet and view of science that we may not have had, because this is not really our field. And so thank you for sharing your expertise with us.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and anyone that wants more details can find them by putting my name in Google, Avi Loeb, at medium.com. I post updates about 3i Atlas every day or two on medium.com, and it's for free. Anyone can check it out.
Yeah.
All right.
And I want to add a thank you for the lesson in humanity. What you've said about how people should get along. We preach that almost every morning on the show, and I want to thank you for adding your voice to that.
Thank you. Great minds think alike. We think alike.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Professor Loeb. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yes. I thoroughly enjoyed that, Richard. Thank you.
So of course, that was Professor Loeb from Harvard. So, it's, giving some information on that anomaly that's called 3i Atlas. And I know some scientists are thinking that it's probably the oldest comet that we know of to visit the solar system. But we will see how it all plays out. Of course, if it turns out to be something else, we'll have to bring back Professor Loeb post December 19th to tell us. But pretty interesting.
But I'm kind of almost looking forward to December 19th now.
If any little men
we need
you have somewhere, Sir Charles. You have somewhere else to go now.
yes.
I might be in Japan at that time. So.
But that thing is really moving fast, boy. Woo.
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting
stuff. Yeah. So of course, we can open back our lines at this point because we still have a few minutes before 8 a.m. on the news. So usually on a Friday, of course, it's your day. But Professor Loeb agreed to speak with us.
Yeah, we can't get a man like that every day.
You couldn't miss that opportunity at all.
Yeah.
So,
and when people like that come along, I say, whenever we can get them, we have to take them. They're not waiting on us.
Yeah.
But how large? Did he say that this
5 kilometers?
5 kilometers,
like a city.
Yeah, like a city. That is like a city.
Okay. 5 kilometers. I'm just studying if we get impacted by 5 kilometers or something, what kind of damage?
That could be an existential threat to humanity, I'm guessing. That's huge.
Traveling at that kind of speed.
Kind of speed impacting.
And what I really wanted to ask him, and I really wanted to ask him that, Richard, if it should look like it's coming our way, what do we have on Earth to try to change that course if we can, or to meet it halfway outside there and get rid of it? I wonder if we have anything on Earth.
If it's being powered by engine and it's some people from somewhere else, I welcome them. No, let them come. I want them to come.
If it's being powered by Sir Charles, if it's being powered by something, it will slow down.
You might say, it might be coming and say, wait, I turn that down there. Turn around and butt it the other way. As Dr. Job used to say, Richard, does it.
We hear about them. That came through the internet. We hear about them. We ain't want to go there at all. Anyhow, caller, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Do you guys know what mass is in physics?
Go ahead to explain to us.
Okay. Mass is something that makes up a body, right? So let's say, for example, if, as he was saying, let's just hypothesize, it's a spacecraft. If a spacecraft loses 1/10 of its mass, what does that mean? This guy, because he's from Harvard, has been putting forward these additional theories. Now, for all intents and purposes, this could be a comet. Yes, it's acting in a way that we have never seen before. But if it is a quote-unquote technological device, we need to question some of the things that he is putting out there. So if a spacecraft loses 1/10 of its mass, what does that mean? Also, he said he gave a weight of 50 billion tons or something like that for a spacecraft. Do you know the kind of propulsion that would be needed to power that spacecraft? So all I'm saying is sometimes you have to listen, and then you have to ask the question, does this make sense? Have a good day, gentlemen.
Okay, I think he was just positing that you keep an open mind as a scientist. That's what he was saying. And he was saying that if it is that the trajectory moved and it went into a non-gravitational acceleration, usually comets burn off a certain amount of their mass, and you would see evidence of it. And he said, right now they can't tell. So when it gets closer, they will see if it lost some of its mass because of its non-gravitational acceleration. So,
yeah, and we don't know how advanced this particular thing is or not. So it may very real be a point where it realizes I have to shed some load out here.
Or if it is something, if you're going down the road, and I know a lot of scientists are very conservative. They don't like to go down the road of alien technology and stuff like that. They will prefer to explain it as a natural phenomenon and how to explain the natural phenomenon, which is fine. But if you were to go down the road of technology, you don't know what kind of technology other civilizations may have.
That is it.
In their capacity to move whatever object in whatever way, if you want to go down that road.
Yeah.
I just think the science is interesting, and I hope children watch this interview because the motivation of young minds into science is important. And the issue of questioning and keeping your mind open about what the universe holds, I think is interesting and important.
What we do know now is that anybody Googling Professor Avi Loeb in the future, this program is going to come up. This interview is going to come up. That's what we do know.
Hold 1 minute there. Let's take this caller before we go to the news. Hello, good morning.
Good morning again.
Morning,
I
Sina.
found that to be very interesting. And as Richard said, that is for young people to open their minds and listen to these things and to follow it. Because up to last night or night before, my granddaughter called me to ask me, did you go outside and watch the moon? They always be fascinated by the moon.
Yeah.
Size when it's full moon and otherwise how the moon becomes so large and so bright. So, things like that fascinate young minds. And I normally go to NASA sometimes on the YouTube and follow the spacecraft and watch it orbiting the Earth. I think these things are very, very interesting. And who knows? We know there are planets out there, so who knows what could happen, what else could show itself. I would really be interested to know if there's life elsewhere. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, Jerry Dollarby, Gats, and I now realize so many people were messaging me on my phone.
All right, so we're going for the news, and we will be back shortly, people.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio in Gael, Caribbean. I'm Derek. Good day. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says her government has reduced crime over the past 6 months, but will keep pushing to make citizens feel safer. She was responding to questions about a home invasion in Philippines, where armed men terrorized a family early yesterday. Prasad Bisesar said while the data shows a decline in murders, over 200 fewer than last year, people are still fearful because of years of violent crime. She said government will move forward with stand your ground laws and make legal firearms more accessible, giving citizens a fighting chance against home invasions. The Prime Minister also confirmed that the home invasion bill, which sets penalties of up to 25 years in prison, will be brought to Parliament before year-end. She added that meetings with the Chief Justice and key ministers are planned to improve judicial efficiency as part of wider crime-fighting efforts. Opposition Senator Vishnu Dhanpal is warning that the upcoming holiday season could be a miserable one for civil servants and people depending on public assistance, saying the 2025 to 2026 budget is already collapsing. At a media conference on November 6th, Dhanpal said the opposition had predicted the $59.2 billion fiscal package would fall apart before the end of January. The former finance minister said the warning signs are already clear, as several government payments have been delayed in recent months. He expects Finance Minister Davendranath Thakur to soon return to Parliament to seek additional funds to cover the shortfall. 10 minors are facing assault charges in connection with 2 separate school-related attacks in Tobago. Police said 5 students were charged in relation to an incident that occurred on May 20th. According to reports, a student was seated in a classroom when he was attacked and struck about the head by another student. Later that day, when the victim's father and sister arrived to collect him, they were also assaulted by a group of 4 students, all between the ages of 13 and 17. A report was made to the Scarborough Police Station, and following investigations led by P.C. Edwards, 5 students were charged with assault by beating on November 3rd. Police also confirmed that 5 other students remain before the court for a separate incident involving an ambush at Shaw Park grounds. In that case, a student was approached and attacked by a group of students, resulting in similar charges. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said the charges reflect its zero-tolerance stance on school violence and reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that schools remain safe environments for learning and development. The Florida 3rd District Court of Appeal has upheld a $131 million judgment against businessman Steve Ferguson, ending a 19-year legal battle over fraud linked to the Piarco International Airport project in Trinidad and Tobago. A panel of 3 judges dismissed Ferguson's appeal and reaffirmed a Miami jury's finding that he committed civil fraud and violated Florida's RICO laws. The court ruled that the fraud had strong ties to Florida, including bribes, bid manipulation, and money transfers through Miami-based companies and banks. Judges said Florida has a vested interest in punishing criminal enterprises that operate partly within its borders. The case began in 2004 and accused Ferguson and others of inflating airport contracts. After a 2023 jury trial, he and 2 co-defendants were found jointly liable for more than $131 million in damages and interest. Canadian fertilizer giant Nutrien Limited has confirmed that it expects no additional nitrogen sales from its Trinidad operations for the rest of 2025. The company made the disclosure in its 3rd quarter earnings report, its first official filing since the October 23rd controlled shutdown of the Trinidad nitrogen facility. Nutrien said gas constraints and uncertainty over port access forced the shutdown, which followed months of reduced cash flow. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munalal told reporters there's been no new headway in talks since an October 30th meeting with the company, but government has already made arrangements to stabilize the carbon dioxide market, with Proman stepping in to supply Massey gas. Nutrien says it's still engaging stakeholders and exploring new business opportunities in Trinidad, including possible work with the agriculture sector. Internationally, world leaders are meeting in Brazil for the United Nations Climate Summit, where the Amazon rainforest's future and the planet's are on the line. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is urging global powers to fund protection for tropical forests, warning that time is running out to stop climate collapse. But the absence of leaders from the US, China, and India is casting a shadow over the talks. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres blasted major polluters for being captive to fossil fuel interests, calling failure to act a moral disaster. Lula said extremist forces are spreading lies and trapping future generations in pollution and poverty, while leaders like Colombia's Gustavo Petro directly criticized US President Donald Trump for skipping the summit. The conference, known as COP30, will test whether Brazil can turn words into action and secure real funding to save the world's largest rainforest. And that is news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Pay $1 down on higher purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, and Gaia Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop. Located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Your don't leave out to watch corn is coming to an end. Beginning with the final 2 at Cipriani College on Saturday the 15th of November at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 16th at 6:30 p.m. to see the funniest play of the year at Cipriani College. Final 2 shows. Tickets available at K-Square Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, Brentwood, Jubilee Railway to Napuna, Electronics Ariba, and Tony's Florals, Val Park, and Sharpley Auto Services. Box office at Cipriani College opens from Wednesday the 12th of November, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Don't miss the #1 play of 2025.
Loosely in my waist, not the answer shade. Walking up my spine, making up my face, not the answer shade. They don't know me already. When it comes to party, I just wine and go down and wine and go down and wine and go down. Full stop. And everybody, they just talk about me with my hand in the air, rubbing my head. Whoa, you know I'm doing it.
Yay! Zena!
Oh God, you guys are best. He's the best.
Get on, Zena.
Oh, of course, I just want to remind people that theater will be on next weekend. Of course, your Don't Leave Foul to Watch Court is coming to an end. So our final 2 shows in North Trinidad is at Cipriani College next week, Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and next week, Sunday at 6:30 p.m. And of course, tickets are on sale at all the usual outlets: K-Square Fashions in West Mall, Eastgate, and Brentwood Mall in Chabonas, Jubilee Railway in Chinapuna, and Tony's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza. You can get your tickets there, and Sharpley Auto Services and Electronics in Arima. You can get your tickets at all of those outlets as well as online. You can go to RSRR Productions Theatre on all social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, and you can see the information for how to purchase tickets online. We're looking forward to it. The box office opens next Wednesday from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily, so you can get tickets from the Cipriani College box office from next week, Wednesday. So looking forward to it. It's a little bit of sad news because it's coming to an end and we're having so much fun in this play. And I mean, thank you to all the people who have come to see the play thus far. I mean, and have had a wonderful time and leaving such fantastic comments in terms of your reviews. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you all who chatted with us this morning on the chat and of course by phone. Thank you for making this show the absolute best show on radio anywhere in the globe. We step up a notch today. You understand? Thanks to Professor Loeb, we step up a notch today. Thank you very much for joining us. Have an absolutely beautiful weekend. And remember to let go and let God.
Of course, the weekend has begun, people. You know we love a weekend on the Breakfast Show. We love the weekend. It's Friday. Put a smile on your face. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. I thank you, Professor Loeb, for joining us this morning.
Somebody come on, let's do this. Here we go. Come on, yeah.
The Breakfast Show.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy your weekend, people.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on.